Hi again, Gregg Bell at the News Tribune here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, if you couldn't tell where I was. Frozen tundra has frozen again tonight. Started snowing as soon as the game ended. Seahawks season ends, and why did it? Well, let's talk about what I think most of you are talking about. What the heck happened in the first half versus the second half? 135 total yards and 3 points for the Seahawks in the first half when they had tried to establish the run game. Second half, 245 yards and 20 points to rally from 28-10 down. Should have won the game, frankly. There was the belief in the locker room, on the sideline, they were going to win the game. Russell Wilson, with 5 minutes left, was going to rally the Seahawks all the way back for victory. I think if Malik Turner catches that pass beyond the 50-yard line and into Packers territory with 4 minutes left, the Seahawks win. Crushing play. Right off his chest. Turner had the ball right off his chest. The Seahawks had all the momentum at that play. Just a 14-yard pass to Lockett on the previous play. They would have had a first down from the Seahawks 37 to the Packers 47. Instead, Turner drops it. It's second down. Short pass play to Hollister makes it 3rd and 5. Russell Wilson takes a sack. And it gets too long. 4th and 11 to go for it there with 2:35 left. The Seahawks chose to punt and use their timeouts. On defense, Carroll said he thought about going for it on 4th down, but once it became 4th and 11, too long, the odds were too long, and they tried their luck with their all-pro punter, Michael Dixon, who, by the way, came very close to having a key play on that punt with 2.5 minutes left. 64-yard punt. It bounced inside the 5. Normally his punts bounce back into the field. This time it went forward into the end zone for a touchback. You saw the end. 2 third-down plays. The key one, rookie Ugo Amadi in the slot as a nickelback against Devontae Adams, who had 160 yards receiving tonight, a Packers playoff record. That's a bad combination for the Seahawks. Carroll said, yeah, he knew that was the matchup. It's what the scheme called for, and he hoped the guy would make a play. They made a play. They were better than the Seahawks were on that play, Carroll said. Then a second third down play after a Rodgers scramble and a penalty on the Seahawks got Packers into Seahawks territory. A third down play to Jimmy Graham. Catch, tackled right at the line of gain. Carroll said he and his assistants still think it's short of the line to gain, but there was no conclusive review. Replay review upheld the call on the field of a first down. Game over. Packers go to San Francisco for the NFC title game next week. Okay, back to my initial point here. Here's why they run the ball. I know it's driving you nuts that they tried Marshawn Lynch 4 of the first 7 plays. They ran the ball too much in the first half while they were falling behind. They did it so Russell Wilson would have time to throw. In the second quarter, he did. This offensive line is built to run block. And when they don't run block, they cannot pass block and sustain pass blocking. You saw it on the final play of the game. The reason why they ran it, Carroll is afraid to just open the game up to passing and let Russell Wilson throw the ball every play. The last third down of the Seahawks season, Russell Wilson gets sacked. That's why they run the ball, so they can throw later. I know it drives everybody nuts, and there's analytics that say it's a waste of time. For the way the Seahawks offensive line is constructed and has been the last couple of years, it's what Carroll is convinced they must do, run the ball. Whether you agree with him or not, he's the coach. It's his belief, and he knows how his offensive line is constructed. That's why yet another second half of such startlingly different numbers. Fact is, as Russell Wilson said, as Shaquem Griffin told me, we've got to start faster, not give them a 21-3 lead. Defensive breakdowns all over the place. Devontae Adams missed tackles, missed coverages by Amadi, and Trey Flowers had another tough night at cornerback. I thought the Packers would and did pick on Flowers on their key plays. Rodgers looked his way, 21's away for most of the game, and Adams easily beat those two for a touchdown in the first half, beat him again in the second half for his second touchdown. After the game, those guys were stunned in the locker room. They really, as I said, believed they were going to come back and win, as they often have. They thought they were going to get the 49ers for a spot in the Super Bowl next week. Jadeveon Clowney talked at length. He talked about how vital it was in his mind that he played in this game and played in the playoffs. I asked him point blank, "You coming back?" He said he doesn't know. He said he not talked to the Seahawks yet about that. The Seahawks could start beginning to talk to him at the end of the regular season after December 29th. No indications from either side, or I should say no indications from the Seahawks that they have. Clowney said they haven't talked because the two sides were focused on these playoffs. Clowney said he wants to go to a Super Bowl team. He wants to be a contender, a team that will compete for the Super Bowl, and he believes that can happen here in Seattle. He loves the environment. He reiterated how much he loves the locker room and the city. I think the Seahawks are going to make a play for him. I think that him playing 3 games, the playoff games, plus 2 of the last 5 games on a core muscle injury that needs surgery after this season is going to go a long way to what the Seahawks offer him. He's looking around $20 million a year. He may get that from Seattle. I don't know if he'll get that from anyone else. With his sack numbers down this season, he was the most double-teamed defensive end in the game, and league insiders know that as well. If it gets to March and he shops, it's going to be tough to keep him at the commodity and the value that he has. Marshawn Lynch, asked after the game, surprised us and came in the media room after he swapped jerseys in the Packers locker room, went into the Packers locker room. I saw him going down the hall to it to swap jerseys with Aaron Rodgers. Lynch comes in the locker room, first question, how do you think this Seahawks redo went? 4 touchdowns in 3 games, including 2 tonight. Solid. That's what he said. Then we ask him, next year, you coming back? He said he thinks that's something that they're going to chop it up about and talk, but they haven't yet. I'm paraphrasing here. The story is on the newstribune.com. I'm not sure Lynch is coming back. I don't know if he wants to stomach an entire offseason, preseason, training camp, preseason games, or regular season. I don't know, at age 34, turning 34, he's going to want to do that. But if the Seahawks would call on him again late next season, perhaps he would come back. We'll see. I know the Seahawks locker room vibe changed after that Arizona loss when Lynch signed on December 23rd. Russell Wilson called him a champion, said he was honored and thrilled to have played with him again, and underlined the impact that Lynch had in the locker room and on the field. Dwayne Brown played tonight, and he wowed the Seahawks. Pete Carroll, his teammates, playing less than 3 weeks after knee surgery. Carroll said he didn't know how to do it. Extraordinary. And the example he showed to play left tackle tonight on that knee. Jamarco Jones got hurt during the game. That made the Seahawks had the first snaps of the career for Phil Haynes, the rookie, at left guard. Mike Ipati was inactive because of a neck stinger issue. Now the Seahawks go home. Pete Carroll's theme, he had a lot of pride in this team's heart. He was impressed by their determination. They're all bought in. Mentality led by Russell Wilson. He got emotional and choked up talking about Wilson and his belief and how everyone on that sideline and locker room thought they were going to come back from 21-3 down at the half and 28-10 down in the third quarter. Lots to cover and read about at the newstribune.com, on Twitter at gbellseattle. I've got a 3-hour trip straight to O'Hare Airport for a pre-dawn flight in this snow out of Chicago, hopefully. We've had quite a weekend of adventures and travel. Thanks for everything you've seen all season and watching here on the newstribune.com, on Twitter at gbellseattle. I'll be back in Renton for cleanout day tomorrow, noon Pacific time. I don't know what awaits us weather-wise in Seattle, but thank you for everything. Thank you for all the feedback and the play on social media as well. Take care. Thanks for watching.